Welcome to the totally awesome outdoors show. I know it's not outdoors really, is it? I'm in my totally awesome man cave, garage, stroke workshop. But if you think I'm going out there in the great outdoors in this awful weather, wind and rain, think again. But I'm not one to sit around mulching myself, just sitting in a settee. I have to do something every day. I have to get something out of that day. Now then, what can you make for free? What is practical? What could be used? How about making a mirror with a coat rack in the shape of a fish in rustic wood? Better still, free or almost free. Okay, now years ago I used to know a bit about wood because I had two furniture shops which I owned for 38 years, so I knew about decent wood. And nowadays, I'm sad to say, a lot of it's what we call MDF, compressed, laminates, chipboard, whatever. It's all composite stuff. Rare to get something made out of solid wood because it's so expensive, but of course solid wood lasts. However, it does have its little benefits. Some of you may have seen, if you go to your local household amenity dumps, that a lot of people seem to change wardrobe units quite regularly. Well, that's not good really, is it? Because keep turning over. When you look at the solid wood era years ago, Victorian, Edwardian, that wood that your grandparents had, a wardrobe lasts 100 years and lasts longer if you look after it and treat it with all the required oils, furniture polishes, stains, etc. like that. But because, I'm not going to say all furniture is rubbish, I better not say that, had I, but you know what I'm getting at. That sort of composite chipboard stuff does have a bit of an advantage because I want a mirror. Now, I can't go and make a mirror, I don't really want to go and buy one, I want it for free, and generally, stuff that's thrown in the skips, you can get for free. Now here is traditional, I can only speak for the UK, a nice composite one, good old crushed piece of whatever it is, MDF, chipboard, cardboard, newspaper, who knows what the hell they make it out of nowadays. But a lot of these wardrobe units, they actually glue mirrors on. Now you can see that they glue the mirrors onto them. The chances of getting that off with a sealant, leaving it off, I had a go, trust me, many years ago, it's almost impossible. But if you can get just a piece of door, cut your wardrobe door down like this, then you can actually use this surround there as the basis for making this coat rack, mirror, etc, etc. But I strongly suggest get a bit of cleaner, because some people might want a few pounds or a few dollars for these. Just get some cleaner, because if you get damp, if it's been in the damp for a while, what we call the silver backing goes. It happens a lot in old mirrors, you can't get the resilver, it's quite expensive. Get yourself a good old cleaner, clean that mirror first. Now, if you see, just as a general rule I used to find, because I used to sell mirrors in the shops as well, if you find a reflection on the surface, it generally means that you can clean it off. It's reflected from the back to the front. You can get your nail clean or something like that and generally chip it off. It's on the surface. If it doesn't have the reflection, it's probably gone in the backing and you might not want to buy that particular mirror. Also, watch out for scratches, because if your wife has a set of diamond rings and suddenly catches one, the diamond will scratch the surface of the glass. This one, I'm going to put on the binoculars, is good. As I would expect, it's not very old. So I'm going to use this as the basis, and what am I going to build it up with around the outside? I'm going to be using, those of you who have watched our programs before, yes, good old-fashioned pallet wood. Now, I've already stripped the pallets down. I'm not going to do an instruction on how to strip pallets down. You can get that if you look on a link here, up here, to one of our, let's say, many pallet wood programs I've done on what you can do with pallet wood. Basically, strip the wood down, get dry, cheap pallet wood, not the stained stuff with the blue spray and that on it, just get plain white or clear pallet wood, strip it down, you can use the blocks for whatever you want, and then we're going to start building this little, well, I'm going to call it a fishy mirror. Right, I've got myself a hop up and I've got my mirror laid down there. You can see it's starting to blow. That's the other trouble that you don't get with hardwood. With this cheap composite stuff, if you get any damp in the bottom, this has obviously been stood on the dump for a while, it sucks the moisture up and blows it apart, it's ruined anyway. I'm probably going to zip that end off there. I'll see how it goes. It's actually dried out a bit. But what I'm going to do with the pallet wood, which I've just stripped off the main slats, I'm going to overlay it on the top of the wood here. Now it doesn't matter, you can make it rustic. I'm not using the outside of the mirror as, you know, the actual defined edge. I'm actually going to be losing a lot of that mirror because I want a smaller mirror so I get more wood. So I'm going to be utilising it like this. I'm going to put the slats across. Now you can plane it down should you want to plane it down, or you can leave the rustic side up. So just get your slats as to how big you actually want to make this, because you can only, you know, do a certain sort of depth on it. And obviously shorter bits I can bring in here like this and leave longer overlap if I want to do sections, if I want to make a tail or something like that just across there. Doesn't even have to be a fish. Doesn't even have to be a fishy shape. It can just be quite like a sort of rustic log cabin look, to be honest, when I have it staggered like that. Now these I'm going to screw in. I'm going to drill the screw only through the top piece of wood, just through there. I'm just going to make my pilot hole through there, not through the chip ball, because a wood screw will bite and grip very well in the wood, but it doesn't in this composite stuff. It's not so good. If you bite it in too hard with a cordless, you just rip it out. So if a pilot hole's drilled in this one, but don't drill through the bottom piece of composite. Right, let's get a rough layout and I'll start putting a few in there. I don't put the screws right to the edge because I might want to shape that with a jigsaw at a later stage. I'm using screws with quite a, it's the right one there, quite a wide thread on them, you know, so they do actually bite in this chipboard stuff. And listen, another tip, you can have a torque setting on here. Definitely I would suggest, because don't forget the mirror is underneath. Keep it on a light torque setting, otherwise you're going to drive the screw in and you're going to crack the mirror. You have to go and start all over again. Just holding it in place there. There you can hear the torque setting on the cord. Let's just kick in there. That's about right. Listen, I can still break this, don't get me wrong. I mean, it sounds stupid, but just remember the mirror is under here somewhere. You can mark it. But if you clip the mirror underneath the wood, yes, another breakage. Okay. Second piece of pallet wood I'm going to put in, but I'm going to overlap it half and half. And I'm going to cut. Say I want the back to come around about here. I'm just going to put my own curve on there, roughly what I want it to be. Cut this out with a jigsaw. Make sure your marks are outside where the mirror is. Okay, so I don't know whether you're getting the gist of it now. The shape's starting to come. Now you can get, with a jigsaw, as artistic as you want. Just one of these jigsaws like this. Most DIY guys will have one. Now listen, health and safety gone mad. I'm going to mention it anyway. Ear defenders, dead handy. If you're going deaf like I am, it's much easier if you're a young person to put these on, and then you perhaps won't go deaf later on because you've used too many power tools with no ear defenders on. So get a pair of good ear defenders. Incidentally, these are shotgun ones. These are really good ones. Breathing masks. I can't use a breathing mask because I have glasses. I breathe, they steam up. I've got more chance of sawing my leg off than I have sawing the wood off. So that's how good health and safety is for me. Wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. It's up to you. What else do they need? Oh yeah, protective goggles. Protective goggles, but I've got glasses. If I put protective goggles over my glasses, yes, they steam up. I can't see anything, and I saw the other leg off. I mean, you can't win when you've got glasses, guys. But ear defenders, dust masks, glasses, whatever else you want, you know, it's basically what we used to call years ago common sense. Now it's like health and safety gone mad. DIY, just be careful, use a little bit of common sense. Now I'm going to finish the front end of this. I'm going to run the jigsaw all the way round to give me the front shape of the fish, and it doesn't matter if I clip the underneath, but I don't want to clip the mirror. So when you get to the end to do the tail, you'll probably find you've run out of wood underneath as a support. Don't worry, just pre-shape a couple of tails out of the leftover bits of pallet wood there, and you'll find they can screw right in there over the top, and you've got enough, well, you should leave yourself enough just to get a couple of screws fired in, and there is the tail done. Now, I could put fins like that down at the bottom, but I want to put my coat rack on the bottom. So I'm going to keep that clear. But to give it a degree of authenticity, I'm going to put a dorsal fin on the back. So there you go, I've made that dorsal at the back there, and all I've got to do is fire in 3 screws to hold it. It's as good as a dorsal fin as you're going to see. Made out of pallet wood anyway, that's for sure. I'm on the wood here, so I could put up the torque control on the cordless if I wanted. There we go. That is the basis of my coat rack and mirror. But I can do even more. So there you go, that's the absolute basis of it. I think you'll agree, it does indeed look a bit like a fish, but I can do a little bit more to it as well. I can always rub it down if I want, I can paint it, I can stain it, I can varnish it, but I feel it definitely needs some form of eye. In my workshop, I never throw any paints away, and I just stumbled across a really nice sort of greeny turquoise because I feel this is a tropical fish and it's going to be in these sort of colours. I'm also using water-based paint. We call it emulsion, I don't know what they call it in other countries. It's like a water-based paint, and that will soak into the wood quite well. And I want it to go patchy. I don't want it nice and even. If it goes different soak rates in different parts of the wood, I'm not going to treat the knots or anything like that with a knot treatment because I'm not going to be glossing it. I'm going to use 2-3 colours, put an eye here, fins, tail will be different. The bulk of the body is just going to be this. Off we go. Be pretty generous with it because it's free. I've already done a job with this one, and this is just a bonus leftover paint. Use a small brush rather than a big one, and that way you can poke it all the little cracks and over the screw heads and you won't notice anything because you want to try and retain that rustic look about it. The other bonus with using like a water-based emulsion paint, you know, just a regular decorating paint, is it goes off pretty quickly. So, you know, you can work away with this and then come back in an hour and it'll probably be ready. If you want to give it a second coat, you can do. Well, I've got the paint done there, and I did say it was going to be a coat rack. I see no coat hooks. Yes, back to the dump, back to the refuse heap, and I found these on the back of some old doors that a guy was dumping. All I've got to do is put these all along the bottom there and a ring at the top to fit it with. We're nearly there. Well, the coat hooks are all on, they're all firm. You think I'll be finished, but no, I've now found some more paint over there, about 20 years old. Cut the skin off, stirred it up. I feel I've got to put a little bit of extra special something on this fish. It's worth a shot. Well, there we go, all painted, just got to let it dry. Only one thing left to do, and that is, and there it is, the finished product. On go the coat hooks, and it's just there to admire. Hey, who the hell is that in there? That's right, it could be Clint Eastwood, it could be George Clooney. With a mirror like this, you can be the best looking guy in Britain.